Coming up on the March 28th edition of Carolina Week, the Tar Heels receive a hero's welcome as they return from their battle in Syracuse. Next stop, the Final Four.
Welcome back. Welcome back, Tar Heels, to the Final Four. Coming up in sports, we'll show you how the men's basketball team made it through the big dance and became the only team in the Triangle to make it to St. Louis.
Students have a nice new place to watch the games and are finally tasting the benefits of campus construction.
Plus your 4-day forecast.
These stories and more, Carolina Week starts now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Hello and welcome to the March 28th edition of Carolina Week. I'm Courtney Robinson.
And I'm Nora Warren. Let's cut right to the chase. Carolina's men's basketball team is in the Final Four for the first time since 2000. Sports anchor Wes Wilson is in the studio with more. Wes?
Thanks, Nora. The seniors at Carolina have waited for this. The players have waited for this. Hell, I've waited for this. The Tar Heels are back in the Final Four, and Sunday night fans let them know just how much they appreciate it. The men's basketball team returned home late Sunday night like conquering heroes to hundreds of students and fans.
I couldn't travel out to Syracuse or to Charlotte, and this is one way I can show my support, and say thank you, This is what makes UNC so great.
After two tough games against first Villanova and then Wisconsin, the Tar Heels proved they're back. And needless to say, the fans were quite pleased with the two trophies the boys in blue brought back home. But the fans weren't the only ones doling out love on this night, however.
Thank you guys for all your support all this year. Y'all been wonderful. We love y'all, but we definitely not going to disappoint y'all when we go down to St. Louis.
The fans, like the players, have rode this basketball high all year long and show no signs of slowing down as the team's march toward a national championship enters its final week. And while a Final Four berth did fill a significant portion of the Smith Center and fans have a keen eye on the future, the players know there is still work that needs to be done.
We can't do too much celebrating. We're not done yet. We still got 2 more games. Now, many years to come, I'll be able to look up there and see that we're part of history.
First things first for the Heels, though, comes a much-deserved day off. Nora?
All right, now, Wes, be honest. In the brackets you put together at the start of the tournament, which teams did you have going to the Final Four?
Well, I didn't do too well. I got 50% of it. I got Illinois and Carolina playing in the national championship game with the Tar Heels winning, of course. So hopefully that plays out like I had it scripted.
I tell you what, this is getting pretty exciting. It's making me wish I had actually filled out a bracket.
I filled them out, and the only one that I have left is Carolina, so hopefully the Heels will pull through. Thank you, Wes. We'll have much more in sports as the Heels get ready to head to St. Louis for a chance at the national championship.
Now, if the men's team happens to win the national championship, there could be a lot of trash on Franklin Street Tuesday morning. But next year at this time, there might be problems getting it picked up.
To prevent a drastic property tax increase, the town of Chapel Hill is looking at several options, one of which means dumping its commercial trash collection. Businesses lost free trash collection in 2001 and now pay $800 a year to have trash like this picked up once a week. The town's consulting firm says it would save more than $600,000 a year if it eliminated the trash service. But that means about 450 customers would have to find a private trash hauler, most likely paying more than they do now, in addition to the increased property tax. If the town adopts the consultant's recommendation, it would affect retail businesses, restaurants, churches, and apartment complexes.
Now, Carolina Week's Vida Wume breaks down this possible property tax increase.
When UNC officials decided not to renew the lease on this property to the town of Chapel Hill, town officials then had to purchase land for a new operations facility. Because the university leased the facility to the town at no cost, this means there will be a $43.7 million expense, the cost of the new center, added to the town's 2005-2006 budget, and the possibility of a 20% property tax increase to cover that cost. The value of an average home in Chapel Hill like this one is $300,000. The proposed 20% increase would mean $300 more in property taxes for homeowners like these. With the prospect of a significant tax increase, a budget review advisory committee was created to research ways not to put all the burden on property owners. Gene Pease is the committee spokesman.
In my dream world, I'd like to stay within say a 5% increase. I don't know if that's possible, but that's certainly, we're going to try to work to get to that.
The projected increase came about last spring as a way to offset the cost of the new center if officials didn't find other means to cover the expense. Finance Director Kay Johnson says one way the town is looking to counter the drastic tax increase is to sell buildings the town owns.
We have 3 buildings that are not used directly for town services. The IFC shelter, that's obviously being used as the men's shelter, what was the old library, which is now the museum, and then the 3rd building is the old post office.
With that additional income, officials think they can keep the tax increase to 12% at most. Johnson says the budget is a work in progress and officials hope to reach a final decision on June 27th. In Chapel Hill, I'm Vida Rume, Carolina Week.
In past years, property tax increased at a rate of 3 to 5%. The next meeting about the budget is scheduled for May 9th when Town Manager Cal Horton will present his proposal.
Potential budget cuts could mean some serious restructuring for the university. Last week, officials submitted a proposal outlining the effects of the proposed 4% reduction. Here's what officials say the cuts would mean. A 4% cut could reduce the budget by more than $16.3 million. The university would have to cut 65 filled and unfilled faculty positions. We'd lose 50 to 60 faculty members to competing universities, and the university would have to get rid of 200 class sections. During the past 4 years, the state has reduced the university's budget by more than $144 million. Associate Provost Steve Allred says this year's freshman class would see the most changes.
If you were a student who came here this fall, you'd still have a great educational experience, but you wouldn't have as good an educational experience as you would otherwise have if we had the 200 class sections and the 65 additional faculty.
Now, these cuts are merely projections, but with lottery discussions beginning this week, North Carolina legislators are looking into several options to help fix the state's current budget crisis. Tune into Carolina Week this Wednesday as we take a closer look at the lottery talks.
The 8th annual Women's Week is underway. The Carolina Women's Center kicked off the celebration at noon on Monday. Women were urged to follow the theme of this year's Women's Week and start conversation. Dean of Students Melissa Exum delivered the keynote address on the steps of South Building. There was also the presentation of Women's Advocacy Award, a dance performance, and poetry readings. The Women's Center is hosting a variety of lectures, dinner discussions, and information fairs through Saturday. Director of the Carolina Women's Center, Diane Shervick, hopes the event will raise women's awareness.
I wanted to reach everybody on campus, but people outside in the community too, to just become more aware of the concerns that women have, and also some of the skills and talents that they have.
For more information about Women's Week events, log on to our website, carolinaweek.org.
Now, it's not Picasso or Monet, but it will grow on you.
And at the Museum of North Carolina Art is living, growing, changing with the seasons, all with the help of human hands.
There is really only one boy. One girl. One tree. One forest. One deep, dancing ocean. One mountain calling. One handful of sand through our fingers. One endless sky overhead. And one simple way to care for it all. Please visit earthshare.org and learn how the world's leading environmental groups are working together under one name, EarthShare. One environment, one simple way to care for it.
Students have now had a week to explore the new Rams Head Center, and the excitement has yet to die down. Vanessa Crowell takes a look inside the posh new dining facility.
This afternoon, workers were still adding the final touches to the Ram's Head. Among the Ram's Head's attractions is a 2-story dining facility that even brings some students from the other side of campus for dinner.
I'd definitely be here every day if I lived on South Campus.
Students can also opt to hang out in the Sports Cafe. The tech-savvy cafe provides students with a do-it-yourself atmosphere. Order food with the touch of a computer. Machines are one-card friendly, or you can pay with cash. Tabletop remotes paired with specially constructed overhead sound devices allow you to control the TVs. You can also kill time between classes in the arcade room upstairs.
Underneath the fun and games, Ram's Head also provides the 700-space 3-story alternative to on-campus parking, a highly valuable commodity for students and faculty.
But all good things come with a price. Ram's Head is going to cost students an additional $75 or so in student fees each year. Many say they're willing to pay.
I think it's probably worth it because the food is wonderful and the atmosphere is really cool and the arcade and everything. I love it. So.
This fall, students will also be able to use the Ram's Head Recreation Center, still under construction. In Chapel Hill, I'm Vanessa Crowell, Carolina Week.
I haven't had a chance to check out the new Ram's Head Center, but the university is hoping the center will unify the campus as well as attract visitors from the community.
Chatham County Commissioners have given final approval to Briar Chapel, which will be the largest housing development in the county's history. Briar Chapel will be in northeast Chatham County between Mans Chapel and Andrews Store Roads. The 1,500-acre community will include more than 2,300 new homes as well as a public school. The construction company, Newland Communities, plans to start building homes later this year. Company officials hope to have some homes ready for occupancy by summer 2006. Now, with new developments like Briar Chapel becoming more and more common, historic structures might be ignored.
Nora, officials in Hillsborough want to see major renovations made to the town's historic Colonial Inn, and they say the law is on their side to force the changes. The sign on the window says City Search is best, but town officials say the Colonial Inn isn't one of Hillsborough's best. They cite peeling paint, a crumbling chimney, rotting wood, and several rusty pipes to prove it. Town officials are using a 2003 ordinance to force the inn's owner to fix the property. Some residents wonder whether it's too late.
It's such a beautiful place on the inside, it's just a waste. And I hope they don't wait too long and let the termites eat it up and so on and so forth. So I don't know if it can be fixed at this point.
Both sides will be in court in May to determine what renovations have to be made.
When art galleries celebrate exhibit openings, most people think it's only for the wine and cheese crowd. But at the North Carolina Museum of Art, you might want to bring your picnic basket and a Frisbee. Among the budding leaves and flowers on the museum's nature trail, UNC alumnus Patrick Doherty is creating art out of nature. Although it might look more like Hansel and Gretel's house, Doherty and his volunteers have been twisting branches since March 7th to make these 2 story busts, which symbolize nature looking back at the museum's visitors. For Doherty, interacting with the public is one of the keys to the project.
The secondary gain of my projects are that they're conducted in public, and so there's a constant conversation with everyone about this work and really what embodies art in general.
After visitors explore the unnamed structures, Doherty invites everyone, large and small, to help build. But the material selection is limited. No glue, nails, or screws. Just branches, saplings, and twigs hold them together. If the weather holds out, the bust will be completed by the 1st of the month.
That sure looks difficult. I don't know if I'd be able to do that without any
I have
other
no
material.
artistic sense, none.
I know. Well, the weather is nice, and weathercaster Erin Moore joins us now.
Yes. Spring is definitely finally starting to make its presence known. And what that means for the Triangle is that our sunny days and scattered showers in our forecast. I'll have the rest of your Carolina Week 4-day forecast when we return.
This place. You give blood and they take the platelets out and give the blood back to you. It gives me goosebumps just to think about it. The hours are a bit strange, but I'm getting used to that. I come whenever I can. After all, isn't it better to give blood to them than to you know who? Just kidding.
Count.
1, 2, 3. Old habits die hard.
For more information on how you can donate, contact the UNC Blood Center.
I think I'll give O negative today.
Boy, that guy is weird.
If you're not recycling, you're throwing it all away.
Hi, and welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm weathercaster Erin Moore here with a check of your weather headlines. So you know the old saying, March comes in like a lion and goes out like a lamb? Well, we can't necessarily say that it came in like a lion, but it will be going out like a lamb. For these last few days of March, we are going to be seeing some very sunny days, and with that, we will see highs reaching to around 10 degrees above normal for this time of year. And as we begin April on Friday, we see a returning chance for thunderstorms and possibly yet another rain-soaked weekend. If we take a look at the satellite map, we can see this is the disturbance that came through our area over the weekend and brought us the stormy weather. You can see this cyclonic motion, and we still have some lingering clouds as the low pressure system moves overhead. Back behind this, in the middle of the country, we can see very clear skies, and then this is going to be our next weather maker that's going to be coming in Thursday night into Friday morning, bringing us another chance for some thunderstorms. So as we look at the forecast map, we can see, again, here's this low pressure system that came through our area over the weekend and brought us some thunderstorms, and in Raleigh, we even had hail, but we'll be pushing out overnight, Monday night. And back behind, we've got a high pressure system that's dominating the area, and we're going to see some southerly flow, which is going to warm up our temperatures greatly throughout the week. Again, back behind here, we see this low pressure system and cold front that will be making its way to our area Thursday night into Friday morning, bringing us another chance for some stormy weather. So if we take a look at the 4-day forecast, we can see on Tuesday, our highs will be about 71 degrees with a low of 48. We're going to see mostly sunny skies. We may see some clouds lingering in the morning as the passage of that low pressure system goes through. On Wednesday, check out that high, 75 degrees. We should be about 65 degrees to 68 degrees for this time of year. We're going to see mostly sunny skies with a low of 50 overnight. On Thursday, our clouds are going to be returning mostly in the evening with our daytime high at 77 degrees and our low at 53 degrees. On Friday, again, we just see about 50% chance for a thunderstorm in this area with a high of 71 and a low of 52. So if we take a look at the head at April, we see we're going to have an average high of 73 degrees and an average low of about 48 degrees. Now, the average precipitation for this time of year in April is 1 3/4 inches, and that's actually not too much. You know, normally they say April showers bring May flowers, but it's not too rainy of a month, actually.
Well, Erin, I've lost my umbrella, so I'm kind of worried about those clouds today. I'm hoping I can either find it or get another one before Friday, huh?
Definitely. Hold off till Friday.
Yeah, well, hopefully April showers, we won't be seeing too many of them. I'm going to really enjoy that 75 degrees on Wednesday.
It's going to be beautiful. Some places could reach up to 80 on Thursday. So,
well, April showers won't be much of a problem for the Heels in St. Louis. Erin, thank you so much again. Wes Wilson joins us now to talk about sports and the Heels in the Final Four.
It's been a fabulous weekend for Tar Heel sports. I mean, I don't know a Tar Heel fan who wasn't watching the games this weekend. It's getting down to crunch time for basketball.
Yeah.
And coming up, you know, women played as well, so coming up on Carolina Week Sports, the men's basketball team isn't the only one on a mission to get to the Final Four. See if the ladies were able to fight through Arizona State on the Sun Devils' home court to make it to the Elite Eight.
Hey, there are a lot of ways we can help our community. Spending our money in Orange County, whether it's filling up the car or shopping at local businesses, helps maintain our roads, improves our children's schools, and creates jobs. Spending your money locally helps us all in a big way. So remember, shop Orange first.
escucha Smokey antes de tratar.
Solo tú.
No juegues con fósforos, no juegues con fuego. No hay nada peor que un pobre conejo asustado o un pobre ratón sin casa en que vivir. Si un hermoso bosque es lo que deseas, no juegues con fósforos, no juegues con fuego.
Solo tú puedes prevenir los fuegos en áreas naturales.
¡Fuego!
Final Four, Final Four, Final Four. It can't get much sweeter than this. Welcome to Carolina Week Sports. I'm Wes Wilson. But first, before we make it to the Final Four, they had to make it past upset-minded Villanova. Now, a little history lesson for you. In 1985, a glass slipper-wearing Villanova team upset a heavily favored Carolina squad on its way to the national championship. But would history repeat itself? Almost. We pick up the action with Carolina clinging to a 3-point lead, but Villanova has the inbounds. The following play will forever be known as the walk by Heels and Wildcat fans alike. It seems Allen Ray has the hoop in the harm with a chance to tie the game, but he walked. Ray can't believe it, but take another look and count along at home if you want. That would be right here. 1, 2, and 3 steps, no basket. Carolina hangs on for the win and goes on to meet Wisconsin with a trip to St. Louis and the Final Four on the line. Well, would the Nova game be the only close game for the Heels on its way to the Final Four? I'm afraid not, my friend. A walk may have sent the Tar Heels to the Elite Eight, but the Tar Heels rode through Sunday's game on the back of All-American Sean May. The star center finished with a double-double, 29 points and 12 boards. But the Badgers would not go quietly into the night. Orlando Tucker and Clayton Hansen both had big games for the Badgers as Wisconsin took a 5-point lead early in the second half. Unlike Tar Heel teams from years past, however, this year's squad wouldn't wilt under pressure. Felton with a teardropper right here in the lane. Then, oh man, what a clutch block by McCants. That three would have tied the game. The Heels hang on to win 88-82 as they climb to heights they haven't seen since 2000 and cut down their key to the gates of the Final Four in St. Louis. So here's how the Final Four shapes up. Top seed Illinois takes on Louisville Saturday just after 6. Many people think Louisville deserved at least a number 2 seed, but they were stuck at a number 4. The Carolina will match up against Michigan State, and it's scheduled for an 8:47 tip-off. The winners of those 2 games face each other Monday night with the national title in the balance. If you think having one great basketball team is good, try having 2. The women's team is making a tournament run of its own and try to make Arizona State the latest notch in its Carolina Blue belt Saturday night. Hill started with strong defense and a 6-0 run. Latangela Atkinson nabbed this steal on Arizona State's first possession and took it all the way. Arizona State quickly turned things around on the Heels as R.B. Johnson's jumper gave the Sun Devils a 10-point lead. A pair of free throws from Ivory Latta late in the first half put the Heels back on top, and they never looked back. Strong Tar Heel D held the Sun Devils off in the second half. Nikita Bell steals it for 3 for 4 steals. Elena Larkin swatted down Arizona State's hopes as the game closed. Can we see that again? Wow. Carolina finished off ASU 79-72 to get into the Elite 8. Can the Lady Heels follow the men into the Final Four? Latta and the gang will take on Baylor Monday night at 7 with a trip to Indianapolis in the Final Four hanging in the balance. While the women's basketball team had only Arizona State to defeat, the women's gymnastics team stared down 7 other schools this weekend. Carolina's gymnastics team headed to Raleigh for the East Atlanta Gymnastics League Championship on Friday. The Heels made their presence known early among the contenders on the balance beam. Carolina's Courtney Bumpers claimed the highest score in this event, and the fans are feeling as the judge sits front and center as Bumpers enjoys her spotlight. She comes away with a season-high score of 9.925. Amazing, Courtney. Even with a low score on the vault, the ladies still took first place in the Eagle Championship. Coach Derek Galvin says his gymnasts committed themselves to this win.
They've made a commitment to each other that they were not willing to back down on, and tonight they got to experience the glory of that commitment.
Friday night might have been the start of Sweet 16 action in basketball, but quite a few fans had baseball on their minds as they came to support the Heels against Wake Forest in the first home ACC series of the year. It was a pretty night under the lights, but freshman Josh Horton wasted no time stargazing as he provides the fireworks with his solo shot in the second inning. When Chase Yance doubled to bring in third baseman Reed Franck and give Carolina a 2-run lead, at least one fan thought it was safe to chicken on some basketball action, but Wake refused to go away, scoring on this pass ball to pull within 1. but junior Jonathan Horvath struck out 5 to pick up his second save and give the Hills the win. Let's wipe to Saturday's game. Jay Cox hits one hard to right field as Hills slide in for a 2-1 lead, showing they were hot despite the chilly weather. The ball wasn't the only thing being hit hard. Pitcher Daniel Bard used 2 Wake Forest players as pitching targets. In retaliation, Chase Johns takes one for the Heels. Carolina topped the Deacons 9-1. And in the second game of that Saturday doubleheader, a series of errors by the Tar Heels in the infield almost blew up a 7-run lead when the Demon Deacons scored 4 runs in the 6th inning. Up 7-4, the Hills hit back in the 7th when an explosive offense tallying 7 hits and 7 runs to seal an easy victory 14-5 and complete the sweep of Wake Forest. The softball team led off playing Harvard in the Carolina Classic on Easter weekend. It was a slow warm-up on Friday for the Crimson as Tar Heel pitcher Ashley Allen hit the mound and took charge with quick hands, striking out 8 Harvard batters. On the offensive side, there were no big hits, but the Tar Heels made their way around the diamond one way or another, eventually defeating Harvard 7-3. The Tar Heels had no chance against California's Kelly Anderson, who threw a no-hitter, beating the Heels 5-0 on Friday. They look to have better luck against the Golden Bears on Sunday, but in the first game of the doubleheader, the Heels lost again to California. Casey Testa was the only Tar Heel to have 2 hits as the Heels fell 7-2. In the second game, the Heels tried to bounce back, but Jennifer Jacobs' first career home run wasn't enough. Carolina loses by a run to Penn State. Well, the race to the Final Four is over, guys, and hopefully the Heels will, be able to, pick it up where they left off against Wisconsin and, give Michigan State a tough game on Saturday.
Is it so we're playing Michigan State on Saturday? That's correct.
Yeah, and then hopefully we'll play, either Illinois or Louisville in the championship.
I think it's safe to say that I kind of hope for Louisville, but that could just be me. Illinois is a good team, I hear.
Well, the race is on to the Final Four, and that's a final race.
But this weekend there was a different race and a different basket on the minds of some Chapel Hill kids.
When you buy disposable and overpackaged products for your home, you're really saying, I'm fine with depleting natural resources. Pollute our air and water. Energy? Wasted. People tell you, hey, go for less packaging. Check out reusables. Buy stuff in bulk. Well, you tell them, no thanks. I'd rather throw it all away. Buy smart, waste less, save more.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
Find the eggs, fill your basket, and let the fun begin. Carolina Week's Lindsay Ellerson shows us one holiday hunt that really got the kids scrambling.
The weather may be nasty, but that doesn't stop Easter egg hunters. Families shuffled into Durham's West Point on the Eno Park Friday for the annual Easter egg hunt. Kids of all ages came prepared to find lots of eggs.
At least 20, 10, 15 maybe.
Split off by age group, the kids headed to their site. On your mark, get set, go! Kids ran frantically, filling their baskets with as many eggs as possible.
It was hard. I didn't really find any eggs.
But others had more luck, finding a golden egg, winning a chocolate bunny, and going home happy. Park manager Beth Hiley has been organizing the event for the past 20 years.
I just love the look on the kids' faces, and they're so excited and they're so, thrilled to be getting some eggs.
And judging by the grin, this year's hunt was another big success. In Chapel Hill, I'm Lindsay Ellerson, Carolina Week.
Well, I hate that I missed that, but Court, I hear your mama still hides those eggs for you.
You're never too old to have an Easter egg hunt, and I certainly enjoyed mine on Sundays. So anyway, it was fun and you missed out. That does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for watching. Have a great night.
Good night.